Hello friends, in this video tutorial we will see the concept of percentage sampling transformation. So for the purpose of this tutorial we will use a table from our AdventureWorks database. We will use the person table which is there in the person schema. So this is the table that we are going to use, and if we currently see, there are some 19,972 rows, correct? Now we will get 1% of sample data out of this particular table, which means we will like to get around 200 records. That is 199.72 is the 1%. So we will like to get around 200 records, sample records from this table, right? So for this purpose, let us add a data flow task. Let us edit it. Now let us add a OLEDB source to our package. Let us point this OLEDB source to our table, that is person.person. Right. Now let us add a percentage sampling transformation. It's a very simple transformation. We just need to specify that what's the percentage of records that we want as selected output, and the other default output will be unselected output, right? So 1% of records, around 1% of records will flow to the selected output, and around 99% of the records will flow to the unselected output. The algorithm that this particular transformation uses is such that it will not guarantee you exact 1% of output of records into the selected, right? It will be a value near to the 1%. Okay. Now in our case we will use a random seed, right? So we will not tick on this particular checkbox. Let's click OK. Let us output these things into a multicast, correct? Selected output goes into one multicast and unselected output goes into the other multicast. Okay, now so let us execute this transformation. Right, so around 200 records have been output. So total 223 rows were selected as part of the selected output, and the remaining records were there in the unselected output. So we are achieving what we wanted, that is we are having around 1% of the records in our selected output, right? Now let us stop and let us rerun. So this time the record count changes for the selected output. It is still near to 1%, but this time it is 201 records, right? So which means the exact number of records which will be selected through the percentage sampling output is not fixed. It is near to the percentage that we have specified. That is, in this case also it is near to 1% that we have specified. Now the important thing to note over here is percentage sampling transformation will load all the data, right? If you want to use this transformation, then actually what we are doing, we are loading all the data in through our OLEDB source into SSIS, right? And then we are getting 1% of the records out of that data. Now this is not a memory efficient way of doing things, right? So better technique will be to directly select 1% of the random records from the table through a SQL query instead of using this particular transformation, right? How can we do that? I have a sample query with me. Now again the table is same, right? It's a person table inside the person schema, but this time I'm using a query to get 1% of sample records, and see we are having 215 records, right? Second time if we execute, it is 197 records, right? So it is near to the 200 mark, that is 1% of the records, and these are also random records. So we should try to use such kind of query to get random records from the database table. So friends, I hope this particular video tutorial on percentage sampling is useful to you. Thank you.